In the prior episode of Launch Title Madness, Alex Kidd got knocked on his little ass as he suffered some sweet chin music from Tekken Tag on the PlayStation 2. And snowboarding fans finally had their day in the sun. Yeah, we know sun doesn't mix with snow, but you get the idea as it landed its stupid little snowboard right on top of Resistance Fall of Man. In today's episode of Launch Title Madness, we've got the legend from the Super Nintendo, F-Zero, up against 1-2 Switch. Bang bang! Bang, bang! And in the second matchup, race car fans, it's time for you to crack open a Busch Light and whip a dip, because Forza 5 on the Xbox One is taking on Ridge Racer on the PlayStation 1. Oh, that's a lot of ones, and that's a lot of race cars. Things are about ready to get rowdy.
Sunset. The time of day when you don't just reach for a beer. You head for the mountains.
And business is about to pick up. Get your fingers ready, folks. It's time to hit the comment sections and just be an absolute asshole. Because if you don't agree with our picks, well, you better tell us about it. Welcome to episode 7 of Launch Title Madness.
Donald Trump? Yeah!
Welcome to Gaming Off the Grid. Boom shakalaka!
Alright, here we are, episode 7 of Launch Title Madness. We've got, like, what, 2 episodes after this to go to wrap up the first round
yes,
of the bracket.
And then we're going into round 2, which will be super stressful.
Oh, it's going to get insane. Round 2 is going to be insane, and then I don't even want to think about round 3.
Oh, God. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about episode 7. So episode 7, we have 1-2 Switch on the Nintendo Switch versus F-Zero. And then we have Forza on the Xbox One versus Ridge Racer on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I think we jump into our first matchup, 1-2 Switch on the Switch versus F-Zero. Let's look at these contenders.
The Super Nintendo Entertainment System launched with an amazing new IP entitled F-Zero, a futuristic racer that takes place in the year 2560. Do you like speed? Well, in this game, there is plenty of speed, and this game pushed the Mode 7 capabilities of the Super Nintendo to the absolute max. Does this game have enough speed, enough G-forces to carry it on in Launch Title Madness? Stay tuned.
1-2 Switch is a party game developed and published by Nintendo in 2017. With various mini-games and the use of the Joy-Cons, by the end of 2019 it was one of the best-selling games on the Switch. But with mixed reviews, does this party game have what it takes to advance in Launch Title Madness? Let's find out.
Okay, so super large generation gap here. And, man, this is when you get that far apart in generations, you know, it's tough. But
it's tough, but is it?
I don't really know that it is. I look at the staying power of these games. Honestly, I don't think... Man, this is tough to just jump right into it so quick. But, like, F-Zero just showcased so much on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And, you know, the 1-2 Switch uses the Switch and blah, blah, blah. It's fun with its mini-games. I think 1-2 Switch would have done a hell of a lot better. Had it been on actual emotion? Well, I think maybe, like... Wii Sports-esque had it been a pack-in game. But it wasn't a pack-in game.
I think that's a good point to bring up, because it's just like Wii Sports, and I think they were kind of doing what Wii Sports and Nintendo Land. Yeah. It was like the next thing.
But it wasn't a pack-in.
It wasn't a pack-in, so people didn't buy it.
Yeah, and, you know, you look, and I hit somebody up in the comment section, you know, regarding this. So, in the first month of the Nintendo Switch being out, it sold like 906,000 units, right? And 920,000 units of Breath of the Wild sold. Telling me,
units than the
because I analyzed that, being as stupid as I am, that Breath of the Wild was what was selling the consoles because it sold more copies of the game than the Switch did consoles. And then you get to F-Zero, which we all know the main console mover for Super Nintendo was Super Mario World, but F-Zero really showcased what it could do.
And it started a phenomenal series.
Yeah, which has not got much love from Nintendo lately.
Ever since the GameCube, right? Like, it just...
You're right, yeah. It was the GameCube.
Ever since the GameCube, there's been no F-Zero because they're putting all their chips into Mario Kart. Which, I love Mario Kart. Mario Kart's great, but F-Zero, man. Futuristic, fast-paced racing?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And that's still, you know, you go back and play the Super Nintendo, and that's still one of those games. I mean, it made it onto the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
It's got staying power. I just think that this is kind of a bloodbath. I really feel like
1-2 Switch.
It's fun.
It's fun, but it's just mini games, and a lot of the mini games aren't even that good. So, like the Quick Draw one is super. That's the funnest one.
Yeah.
The rest of them are like gimmicky and like very like I don't even want to play them. Like dumb.
It's just one of those. It really was. I feel like it was a half-assed try at trying to capture what Wii Sports and Nintendo Land did, but on their newer console.
And I feel like it's a game that a lot of people don't know about, even though obviously it did well. It did pretty well in sales, but it's not like Breath of the Wild overtook all that. There's a lot of better Switch games, Mario Odyssey, which wasn't a launch title, but still, like 1-2 Switch kind of just it.
Well, and to your point, I think if you're buying a Switch today,
you're not going to buy 1-2 Switch.
I don't think you're getting that game. You know, if you have enough money to buy a Switch and 2 games, that's not one of the games you're buying. Yeah. If you are starting to collect a Super Nintendo today in 2021, man, in that like top 5 to 10 games that you need to get on the console, F-Zero is going to come up. Yeah, you're going to be looking for that fucking game.
Definitely up there. And it's a phenomenal game. So can we just say, F-Zero
unanimous
is moving on.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that.
That was an easy one.
This next one gets a little tougher because we're not huge racing game fans unless it's futuristic sim racing, crashing, beating shit up type stuff. And we've got Forza 5 Verse Ridge Racer on the PlayStation 1.
Yep.
Let's just take a look at these contenders.
Forza 5, or properly known as Forza Motorsport 5, was an exclusive launch title for the Xbox One in 2013. With beautiful graphics, positive reviews, and what some say is a must-own game for the Xbox One, does it have enough drive, enough fuel, enough power to move on to the next round? Time will tell.
Initially released on the Namco System 22 arcade board, Ridge Racer landed in 1994 on the PlayStation 1. How many racing games have you played over the years where drifting was a major mechanic? Well, you can thank Ridge Racer for that. Does the innovation behind Ridge Racer and what it brought to the PlayStation 1 at its launch have enough to take it forward in launch title madness? Stay tuned. Super tough. Both great racing games in their own right.
Both iconic series. Yeah. Ridge Racer, PlayStation 1, started the Ridge Racer series. Like it started this huge series.
Yeah, big traction for Namco there.
So amazing.
Yeah.
And if you go back to play it, it still plays pretty well on the PS1.
Here's where my mind goes to, and I might be putting the cart before the horse and not giving it enough talking time, etc. When you think of PlayStation racing games,
you don't think of Ridge Racer.
You think of Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
When you think of Xbox racing games, it's Forza. Forza 5 was that, like, holy shit leap into 4K, which, full disclosure, neither of us own a 4K TV.
But it still looks great on the TV we do have.
We do both have 1080 TVs, and the game looks great. We both have Xbox Ones, thanks to Pixel Game Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's sitting right up there, and we play the shit out of our Xbox One, and we both... You've got the old VCR model, right?
I do, yeah.
But Forza 5, it looks so incredible, and I'm not really into the genre a ton.
No, so we don't play them that much. We just really played them for this.
I feel like being a system seller, you were buying Xbox One, and you needed something to show off your 4K graphics, and there couldn't have been a better game to do that than Forza 5 Horizon.
Oh, it looks freaking beautiful. It plays great. As much as I know how racing games play, it just controls how I want it to control.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Because when we play, we're like, dude, I love these controls. We don't have a ton of comparison.
No, we're just like,
we both played the shit out of like Gran Turismo 2, I think. But like, we don't have a ton of experience in this genre. But we did play the hell out of Ridge Racer because we did some PS1 stuff a while back. Yeah. Man, I think Forza's that standout racing game, which Xbox as a whole, not just Xbox One, just Xbox in general, has very few exclusives that bring you to the console.
And Forza's one
of them. It
But
really is.
When you think Xbox, you don't normally think Forza because you think, Gears of War and
And
Halo.
Yeah.
Those are like the two games.
but I think the next one...
the next one is Forza. But then Ridge Racer, man, PlayStation, it's a great game. And
It is.
I think when you go back and think about the launch of the PS1, Sony's first console, I think Ridge Racer had a huge impact in that because it was like a great racing game.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are into racing games.
Yeah.
But then Forza for the 4K element, which a couple years from now, is the 4K element going to be important? Probably not.
Yeah, because we're looking
But
at
for the launch of that...
what's the next? At 8K, I think? Yeah, I think it's
12K.
here. Yeah.
I don't even know. But for the launch of that, I feel like that was super important. This is tough. And as much as I love PlayStation, and as much as I love Sony, I think I have to give the nod here to Forza.
Well, PlayStation 1 launched with so many more games, so the impact that Forza had for Xbox One was far grander, I feel like. I bet you the number of consoles purchased to the number of copies purchased at the time or the first couple months of release, Xbox One to Forza is a lot closer than Ridge Racer to PS1, which we haven't looked at the data, but I just think that I think Forza 5 gets the nod.
It's a great game. It sucks because we're comparing a 4K game to a game that was released on the PS1.
It does, and I think
it's not fair, but
I think it's also fair to say our input on racing games is dodgy at best.
Minimum.
Very little experience in the realm. I mean, like, we're super into Burnout. You want to talk about Burnout games? We got you.
We'll talk about it for hours.
Sim racing type stuff, it's like, yeah, we've dabbled. Like I said, Gran Turismo 2 and some of the Forza games. But we haven't, like, really done a deep dive. But I feel like Forza 5 has to move on.
It does have to move on. So Forza 5 is moving on. So in the next round, we're going to have F-Zero on the Super Nintendo against Forza 5 on the Xbox One.
Racing game versus racing game.
Oh my god. Round 2 is going to...
It's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal.
Not looking forward to that. But you know what helps that? Is beer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. The Darkness Russian Imperial Stout Barrel Aged. So we did the Darkness Russian Imperial Stout 2021 at the end of the year for 2020. But this is the barrel aged version, which I think is a new thing they're doing.
Yep.
12%. What do you think? Darkness is like a beer we usually look forward to.
Yeah, it's a limited release deal, and I believe back when Darkness first came out, I was super happy I got it. And I'm texting Captain Algebra like, oh, bro, I got this. And he's like, yeah, I got these. And I think this was one of the ones he had. I could be wrong. But I remember being like, well, we didn't see that in our area. Well, we just did. Man, top shelf stuff.
Yep.
I mean,
it's just it's not anything crazy.
No, it's just...
But it's just what it is.
Yeah, it's great
it's just
Russian Imperial Stout.
Phenomenal. And it's barrel aged, so it's super smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like super an easy. It's an easy drink.
It's like Sean Kemp, super smooth with the ladies. That's why he set up franchises in almost every NBA town there is. He's got a lot of kids.
Set up franchises. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think Surly needs to start pulling a Sean Kemp. Expanding.
Yes, for sure.
Because this beer.
It shouldn't be hard to get, because it's so good.
The original Darkness is incredible. But then, like, this barrel-aged Darkness, I think... I would have to compare them back to back, but I think I like this a little bit better because it's smoother.
Yep, and you get that whiskey element.
Yeah, this is so good.
It is. And if you didn't know, I mean, we do beer reviews, but we also are whiskey connoisseurs. Just a little bitch. But anyways, back to the video game stuff. Launch title madness. This might put us in our grave.
Yeah. Well, I've already bought a lot, so I'm ready.
Cool. Did you buy me one next to you?
I'm still waiting on him to hear back for that.
I don't think he did anything. I don't know if I want to be buried next to you anyways. But
like
anyways. I did. But we got to get through this first round. And the next episode, we have Killzone versus Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Ooh, okay.
In Zombie U versus Gun on the Xbox 360.
Nope. I don't even want to think about it until we film it.
Yeah, I don't want to either. It's going to be a wild and crazy ride. And things aren't going to get super crazy till round 2 and 3. But nonetheless, we appreciate you guys saddling up or barebacking on that horse you're riding with us.
That's tough to do.
Through these dusty trails that we call Launch Title Madness. I don't even know where to go from here. We're really not that funny. But somehow we make ourselves laugh.
I think we're hilarious.
But we'll see you next time on Launch Title Madness, right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
That's good.
Maybe we can make it work.
Yeah.
Or I could go here.
Yeah, just wrap it up again.
I don't even know where to go from here. We're real.
We try this beer.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Will this make us feel Russian?
I hope so.
Dude, are you in a hurry?
Because I'm Russian.
Dude, you can't finish the joke. You gotta say, no, dude.
You're like a poet, I think.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see you next time. Right here on Console Madness. Rather, Launch Title Madness on Gaming Off the Grid.